So we'll go to the west and probably get killed and see what we can do. But we'll nosh on some berries as we go. Yeah, there it is. There is the dragon. I was pretty close to it. I just couldn't see in the dark, which is, one of my common failings. Now, this is going to be a rough one, because it can kind of breathe fire and stab you and things. Oh, I opened with a critical. That's not bad. Now, it's charging and breathing. It's getting ready. It telegraphs its moves. It's being fairly nice about that. It used Tail Whip, which would have done a lot more than just drop my defense. But you can hit it anywhere, so... Get out of the way. Ow. As you can see, now is an awesome time to eat that life force nut. There we go. And queue up my healing powder, because I may need a lot of it. So... Get out of the way. Yep. As far as I can tell... Ow. It only has the 2 attacks, but you should not also bump into it, because that hurts. And, of course, half my attacks are just bouncing, because it is that strong. Just a little bonus thing for those of us who want to try and beat the demo as thoroughly as possible. Dodge. There we go. Ow. Stop bumping into its face, Rob. As you can see, I've done a tiny little tick of damage to it. Get away. And there's a fine line between close enough to smack it in the toes and close enough that you are going to get hurt when it moves. A very fine line. Ah, critical hit. A couple hundred more of those and I'll have it. Circle strafe, circle strafe. Club, club, circle strafe. Fire. Dodge. Ow. And good round of damage. Another critical to the face. Are all hit shots critical? No. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Club broke. Welcome to the team, Club Mark II. Ow, 25 damage. Time to get out of the way. And heal again. Ow, 24. So yes, do not stand in front of a dragon when it breathes fire. Just, words to live by. And dodge. Ow. Dodge. Other than this, lately I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront for the PC. It's okay, but it's actually much more fun than the game itself. Star Wars Battlefront Base Command, which you get access to if you have the game and an EA account. If you have the game on any platform, if you log in with your EA account, you get access to a little card-based strategy game. And that is loads of fun. It's simple, it's light, rounds take about 5-10 minutes. It's a base defense game. It's great. Dodge. Dodge. I'm making progress. Dodge. It's going to hit me if I stay there. Don't hum the copyrighted music, Rob. So yes, apologies for the lack of sound, but again, I do not want Mr. Sugiyama angry at me. Criticals would be lovely here. Spin. Ow. Okay, I've figured something out. The dragon has a tail. If it doesn't turn to face you, if it doesn't track you, it's going to use Tail Whip. If it turns to face you, it's going to breathe fire. See? Yeah. Fire. Tail Whip. Fire. Tail Whip. Fire. Tail Whip. Important information. Tail Whip. Okay, it's getting to be dark, which I expected, which means I'm going to have to fight the dragon and the ghosts soon. That may prove to be my undoing, but I'll do my best. Fire. Tail Whip. Fire. Tail Whip. Fire. Ow. Got a little overzealous, overcommitted. Kind of like Monster Hunter Lite. Watch the tells, do not overcommit. That's the game. We'll see if it has any pattern changes when I get it below 50%. Ow. Also, do not run into its face. Man, I'd love to have something with more range than this damn club. Heal up. Eat. Yep, fire. Tail Whip. Fire. Fire. Tail Whip. Fire. Tail Whip. Ow. Time to eat. Time to dodge, because I ate the wrong thing. Heal. Heal. Okay, I'm overcommitting. That's my fault. I'm also bumping into it. That's because it's dark. Ow. Bump. Heal. Now, I'm running low on healing powder. Not out, but low. Tail Whip. Yeah, I need to pay more attention because I'm doing okay. Tail Whip. Fire. Tail Whip. Nope, fire, because, yeah, it also depends on the range when it's ready to ready an attack. If you're close enough, if you're far away, it will breathe fire. If you're close, it will Tail Whip. So, dodge. Tail Whip, right? Yep. Fire. Fire. Tail Whip. Fire. Very pretty fire. You're a very talented dragon. Part of the problem is I keep getting frustrated when my attacks bounce and trying to go for more. That's no good. Be nice if I had crits again, though. Crits are great. I haven't done one in ages. Dodge. Fire coming. Tail Whip coming. Fire coming. Tail Whip. Fire. Not a bad round. Fire. Basically, if you want it to breathe fire, pull back at the last second, and that'll do it. And it's much easier to get back in and do more damage faster from the fire animation than it is Tail Whip, so... That's Tail Whip. Yep. And it's daytime, so hopefully this will get a little easier again. Tail whip. Dodge the fire. Smack the face. Pull back. Dodge the fire. Smack the face. Pull back. Tail whip. Yep. I've got it down to about half. That's pretty good. Far better than I did last time. Pull back. Fire. Fire. This will be tail whip, though. Yep. I'm betting later monsters will have less obvious tells. Dodge. Tail whip. Tail whip. Fire. 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 Man, 1 out of 3. That's sad. But the dragon does seem to be taking more damage than my club is, which is kind of what I need to happen. Dodge. Yep, tail whip. And so far, the dragon is the only thing I've fought that actually makes the enemy attacking noise from Dragon Quest, so you'll know it if you hear it, if you played the original. And if you haven't, you know, I can't actually recommend it right now. There's a smartphone version out that'll probably be a good way to go, but the NES original, one of the problems with RPGs, Japanese RPGs in particular, advances are made all the time, and especially in the late 90s into early 2000s, into accessibility, ease of user interface. I mean, compared to the games that preceded it, Dragon Quest had an amazingly simple and easy-to-use user interface. However, a lot of advances have been made since then. So, pull back. So, you know, it's just a really tedious game to try and play anymore with how much easier all the controls could be with years more, you know, knowledge. And some of the remakes of the other games apply that knowledge. The most recent remake I played of Dragon Warrior 1 is the Game Boy Color version, and it applied a few, but it was still kind of a tedious thing. But of the versions available legally, the Game Boy Color, and again, you know, probably the smartphone version, because that'll have a new translation by the current Dragon Quest translation team, who are frankly excellent. So, can I have some crits here? Oh, I smacked it. Jump smacks are fun. Tail whip. Fire. Tail whip, because I stayed too long. It's really more efficient to just do your 3 smacks and get out, because then it only breathes fire, you don't have to move as far. So yeah. Stay close, evade the fire, do your 3 smacks, let it breathe fire again. It's the quickest way, but quick is really kind of a relative term here. But, okay, so assume you've never played Dragon Quest before, which, you know, if you've been watching my channel because of Gundam stuff, you probably haven't. So, where would... critical hit. Thank you. More, please. So, you know, where would I say to start? Well, first thing to know is that the games are not interconnected. I mean, they are to a certain extent, but you can pick up any one of them and not really have to know the others. Dragon Quest 1 through 3 form an intergenerational story, but you don't really need to know much about any of... You don't have to know anything, in fact, about any of the others to enjoy any one of them. But Dragon Quest 4 is still my favorite. It was the first game I played that had a multi-chapter storyline where you played different characters. You know, in terms of story and characterization, it's no great shakes by any modern game standards. But for 1991 or 2, whenever, no, I think it was may have been 93 when I got it. It was pretty great. And, you know, certain characters just kind of became endearing because the thing about the original version of Dragon Quest IV that a lot of people hated but and made the game harder but interesting, you do not have direct control in the last chapter over any character except the hero. Everyone else? Man, running out of food would be a sucky way to have to break off this fight. Let me eat all my berries. And get breathed on, yeah. Watch where you're eating there, boss. Okay. But yeah. Tail whip. But yeah, Dragon Quest IV originally, the remakes all give you direct control, which is nice, but actually kind of removes something, I think, from the game's character. Much better written, of course, but yeah, that in the original, all of the characters would have their own little personality quirks, and you would not be able to, you know, control exactly what they did. You could control what was in their inventory and give them a basic tactic, like use offensive skills, don't use magic points, etc. But in terms of, like, direct control, nope. Tail whip. That's down to its last quarter of health. That's pretty good. Criticals, 2 of them. Alright. Thank you, RNG. Ow. Oh, I'm naked. That's a problem. Now, yes, that does pause. Time to throw on my replacement clothes. Excellent. And it's night again. But okay, that's going to be tail whip. Yep. Now. But, you know, certain of them, you know, started to take on characteristics. Talon, aka Tornico, being the most famous of those. He has a whole group of skills he can use. He can use the skills of both a merchant and a jester from the previous games. So he can tell bad jokes and make the enemies incapacitated due to laughter. My favorite, he can trip and fall in a round of combat and have a valuable sword fall out of his pack and damage the enemy for a critical hit's worth of damage. And also he can call on an army of his merchant friends to come damage the enemy for you. So Talon was great, and also he had the most interesting chapter of the game, the most atypical, because, okay, chapter 1 is a soldier trying to solve the mystery of missing children in his kingdom. Chapter 2 is a princess basically playing hooky and looking for adventure. Pretty basic stuff. Chapter 4, a pair of sisters looking for revenge on the person who killed their father. You know. Chapter 3, Talon's chapter. Your goal in that is to become the greatest merchant in the world, to buy your own shop in the city of Endor. Ewoks not included. And your goal in that is to gather money and gather items, which, you know, technically a goal in most RPGs, but not as directly as this. It's a really fascinating chapter and a really fascinating way to, you know, go about things. And it was great. You know, it was, and, you know, you had a wife and kid. It was just it was a more immersive kind of simulation entirely by accident than your average RPG, than just about anything else available at the time. So, almost got this thing, wow. And yeah, so Talon became a fairly hit character in Japan. He had a whole series of spin-off games in the Mystery Dungeon series. Now, there's some roguelikes for you. And some great ones at that. So, okay, wait. Thank you. Pull back. And so yeah, 4 is where I'd recommend you start. 5 is well received, acclaimed, and again, it is where monster capturing began in video games. So it's worth a look, and it's another excellent game. 6 and 7 are the ones that I would recommend the least for new players because they introduce a class system which is very, very obtuse and tedious. And I enjoy them, but they require an awful lot of planning, and they kind of make the whole game into a bit of a spreadsheet, as you well know JRPGs can become. But other than 4, the one I'd recommend is Dragon Quest VIII for the PlayStation 2. It's a beautiful game, one of the best uses of cel shading. I mean, basically, as far as I'm concerned, Akira Toriyama designs plus cel shading are always a good idea. And it's the first and to date only fully voice-acted Dragon Quest game in the U.S. I believe it, and it was available in Europe as well under the title Dragon Quest Journey of the Cursed King. For some reason, they didn't number the Euro releases. I have no idea why. But yeah, Dragon Quest. It's amazing. It's wonderful. And 9 is also a good game. It's for the DS. And it, kind of like inches towards some modern MMO-ish conventions. But 4 and 8 are the best. If you're into like 16-bit and retro kind of RPGs, start with 4. If you are into more modern presentations and you have a PlayStation 2, yeah, that's super modern. He said while playing the PlayStation 4. Then 8 will be where you want to go. But, they all have their own virtues if you have the patience for them. Now, what's available on the market right now, besides, games for the smartphone, that you may want to look at is Dragon Quest Heroes, if you're a fan of Dynasty Warriors. I am, and I enjoyed the hell out of that game. Oops, I'm getting a little impatient because it's almost dead. I need to be more careful. It's dead. And it dropped a couch. I have a green sofa. I'm going to go back and place that in the village. We'll use a Chimera's wing. I'm going to go back and place that in the village. And then we will call it, because I think this has gone on long enough. I think you guys probably do too. But let's see how many points a green sofa is worth. Let's find a room. A complete room that has space in it. Is there room for the sofa in here? Is there room for the sofa in any of the rooms? If there's not, I will make a new one. I swear. Wait, there it is. Sofa! 500 points worth of sofa. So, I'm going to sit on it, because I earned it. And that is going to do it for our Dragon Quest Builders demo playthrough. The game comes out on the 29th of January for PS3, PS4, and Vita. I will not be there, but you should check it out. Excellent, excellent game. I expect it's going to be a lot of fun. And until next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later!